Join Bev Lazar, spiritual mentor, Reiki master, psychic medium, with Shelly Greenlaw, doula, yogi, and intuitive energy healer. Two sisters walking the path of spirit to share their experience and advice in all things energy, intuition, and beyond. The Empath Sisters.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Empath Sisters. Today you're hanging out with Bev and Shelly.
Hello.
And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about grounding mats and also some grounding sheets, and maybe the differences between them, what they can do, how they can help you, what they're for, all that kind of good stuff. And Shelly's got a little bit of experience with that right now, so she's going to share her insights and some other information about the grounding mats. So so I'm super excited to hear because Shelly got hers before me, and and also Shelly doesn't have any earth in her birth chart at all. So we've, we're chatting, we've been talking about this, and we figured it might be something good for her to have, to bring some like grounding to her, as grounding can be sometimes, as you say, difficult for you, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Which makes sense. And so Shelly got her mat before me. I'm not going to have mine for a little while. So I'm just as curious. We haven't chatted about it yet to see what her experience has been like. And I'm just super excited. So tell us.
Okay. So like Bev said, a grounding mat, right? So I'm just going to give you like a little bit of I guess like the concept of, this like grounding mat. However, before I do that, they're calling it like an earthing. Okay. So there's a difference between earthing and grounding. Yeah, apparently. And so I kind of looked into it a little bit more, and I kind of, now it just gives me like a clear perspective and understanding on the concept. Now, you're probably, if you're watching me on YouTube, I'm going to be looking to my right, because I've got a big old list of stuff to go over. Made some notes. So just to let you guys know that when it comes to earthing and grounding, so earthing is literally centered on the understanding that the Earth's surface has limitless supply of free electrons, okay, and that these electrons have a neutralizing effect on the body. So in saying that, when it comes, they're saying like when our skin comes into direct contact with the ground, these electrons are absorbed into the body, where they can help neutralize harmful free radicals and reduce inflammation. However, the theory behind the earthing is that this contact helps maintain the body's natural electrical balance in the human body. So meaning, like, because the human body does function on an electrical system, with our heart, our brain, nervous system, muscles, the immune system, and they're all reliant on electrical signals. So any disruptions, and so any disruptions to the system from environmental factors, for example, electromagnetic fields, EMF, can lead to health issues. So they are saying that by grounding ourselves, we can counteract these disruptions. So grounding is believed to neutralize that body's charge by reducing, like I said earlier, inflammation, improving circulation, enhancing the immune system, and promoting overall wellness. Now, there are benefits, and I wrote them all down. And the benefits to this like earthing and grounding is improved sleep, reduces inflammation. It also says improve circulation, enhance immune systems or functions, It also improves mood and energy. It also says that it reduces chronic pain, stress and anxiety relief, improved cardiovascular health, faster healing and recovery. So like if you had like a wound or anything like that, or surgery, it's supposed to help heal your,
well, it will help your body to naturally heal itself too, right?
Yeah,
is how I would see that.
Yes. And then the others are protection from electromagnetic field, which is EMF, and
which
also
we are bombarded with.
Oh, totally. Totally. Yeah. And the last thing that they said too was that it can help with skin health and complexion. And so those are just the benefits. And like the brand that that we purchased was also had like given us like this really big booklet, and in there it does have like the benefits, like all the things. It's a very detailed booklet, and it even tells you experiences from other people and like what they've experienced with, just by using this grounding earthing mat. And it's really interesting because there's been some people who like have said they are finding themselves sleeping much better, and different here and there. However, I have been using the mat for just under a week now, and
how have you been feeling?
I've been like, somebody just asked me actually yesterday about this. And I will have to say that overall, I do feel grounded in some way. Like, because when I wake up in the morning, most days, I'm like kind of, well, you guys all know me. I'm pretty airy. So I'm just so like it's like scattered
still
brain.
Like,
like I kind of have to like take a while to adjust.
Like come back and kind of get going.
Yeah. And I did notice the last couple of days that I do feel like I don't have that feeling. It's kind of hard to explain. It does make me feel a little bit calmer, I guess is the word that I would use. I feel a little bit calmer in the body. It's not as like that buzzy feeling, or that I don't know how to explain that part. But I will say that when I'm laying on the mat, I actually can feel in my body like it's doing something. It's almost like, when we go to the EE system, I can actually feel the cells.
Just feel it's like receptors. Just the body is responding, which makes sense.
Totally. And it is. And so I would have to say like the last, few days have been, for me, I do feel like a difference. Now, in saying that, in this, the company that we bought our grounding mat from, they do say that it depends on the individual. So it may take, some people
like adjusting.
It can be right away. People are going to notice right away. And then there's some people that it might take weeks and maybe months to really feel the effects of this grounding. Now, when it comes to the mat, I also want to mention is that it is made up of, I forgot to write this down, but it's some type of fibers. And so there is like for sure the mat. Now, I don't know about the sheets. I think they also come with a plug. So like, the plug though, it's not like your electrical plug. It's just a grounding plug. So it's literally just the ground port to go into your wall, your outlet, and it's coming out from the earth. So you're going to feel that. So I actually could feel it, where my husband, who's sleeping beside me, doesn't feel anything.
So, and that makes sense of like, grounding electricity.
Yeah.
So the prongs that go in the outlet is the
Mhm.
electrical part, but we need to ground electricity. I know that's even in Reiki of,
Right.
they use the explanation of grounding is how we, have to ground the wires in the electricity in our homes.
Yeah.
And so when you use that plug, putting it just in that single port that's the grounding aspect
Right.
of the plug. So
Yeah.
yeah, that
Yeah.
makes
So
total
it's really
sense.
cool because like our mat is
Yeah.
plugged into that grounding port. And so that's what helps it. And now I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie, when we first got it, I was kind of
Mhm.
mentioning it to Bev when I first got it because I was nervous. I'm not going to lie, because I do have a pacemaker, as you all know. And so I
Mhm.
want to mention that it is safe for
Yes.
people who have a device like me
A device. Yep.
to have this grounding mat. And
Mhm.
but even though it's safe, I will say I got into my head a little because I was like,
Yeah.
because like I've been taught, don't do this, don't do that, you can't have this, you can't do that, and all
Watch
the
for
things.
this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when it said it was safe and it, I couldn't get my mind to go away from the plug part, right? So
Yeah.
even though I know there's no electricity going through it,
Yeah.
because it's coming from the grounding port, I will say my
Yeah.
first night on it, I was like, it took me forever to settle down because I was like, oh my gosh, like, you sure there's, and like, I even asked my husband, I'm
Mhm.
like, you're sure there's nothing? Like, I was like, you get on it first.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
No. And so did I get on and everything. And of course, I'm in my head about it. And it took me a little while. But once I kind of got like used to it, knowing that like it's
Mhm.
not doing like not harming me in any way,
Yeah.
then I was as good. And I do want to say that I feel calmer. And then I also wanted to mention is that I do feel like I am sleeping. However,
Mhm.
like when I'm sleeping, it feels like I'm sleeping deeper, but
That's
like,
good.
but in a way, like shorter, because I think I feel
Because
like
you
I'm
go
getting so
deeper.
much deeper. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wake
That's like,
up and I'm like
yeah.
wide awake. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Ready to start the day.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it kind of reminds me of hypnosis in that aspect of like
Yes.
when you go so deep, like,
Right.
if I have a 30-minute like session with somebody, I'll be like,
Yes.
okay, this one we're going so much deeper. It's 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
However, you're probably going to feel like it's like been 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And every time they come out, they're like, the first thing they say usually is, there's no way that was a half an hour. And it's
Yeah.
like, yep. And so I just want to use that analogy of like how you're feeling of like
Yeah.
going to sleep, maybe sleeping deeper, but feeling like it's shorter, but it's only just because you actually are getting that deep, deep REM rest.
Right.
And so when you
Yeah.
get that REM sleep, your body actually can heal when we have REM sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so also just seeing like the grounding port, and as you talk about like inflammation, EMF, all these things
Mm-hmm.
that the body experiences, inflammation. To me, in my mind, I look at, in my visualization, it would be how the body feels so overloaded.
Yeah.
Like if I think about my body feeling and sensing and experiencing all of these other frequencies out there, the EMF, just like
Mm-hmm.
disruptions to my system, I could see how laying on something that is grounding frequency just settles it down and
Yeah.
like almost grounds all of those electrical currents that are just
Yeah.
running through you all the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah.
And so I just look at ourselves as like a house, and it's like, okay, now we get to like plug in and ground our electrical kind of like
Yeah.
stimulus, to like settle it down so that we can sleep better and not be so bombarded. I actually think about when I come to your place, like when I go to Shore Park, um, Alberta, I usually bring my EMF blanket with me
Yeah.
because I can't sleep when I go there because there's so many towers and so many routers and everything
Mm-hmm.
that I get such headaches. I don't sleep. It's like the worst time for me. But if I bring my blanket, I actually just, which is Faraday material, I wrap it over my head and I kind of wrap it around my body, and that just helps to like calm everything down and I
Mm-hmm.
actually get to sleep. So it just kind of reminds me of what that experience is like, that I'm assuming that that's probably how I'm going to feel as well, having it on my mattress,
Yeah. Yeah.
And having like that deeper rest.
Yeah, I would have to say that's for sure. But I think for myself, because you even mentioned earlier, because I don't have any earth in my chart, like literally, like I'm stuck, and I don't want to, like, maybe I could use this word. I don't know. It just feels like I'm always in that fight or flight mode all the time, that my body is just so used to being
amped.
Like heightened.
Yeah, totally.
That, it literally took me a couple nights to just even tell my body, like, hey, like, just relax. It's just a mat. I had to just say that to myself, like, it's okay. Like,
of course.
And so I think with just having that and waking up every day, the last few days now that I'm used to it, or getting used to it, is that, like, I can feel my body being calmer. I don't feel that fight or flight feeling or heightened feeling.
I feel so anxious.
Yeah.
Perhaps, or
Yeah.
No, that's really good, because I know I don't feel that way like you do.
Yeah.
I have earth, and I mean, I'm an earth sign anyway, but I do know, for me, for the amount of travel that I do at night, I have a harder time grounding back into my body first thing in the morning. That's usually why I love quiet time in the morning, to like kind of come back into my body, in that aspect. But super excited to see how it goes. And you had also mentioned that some people that are close to you, some family members that also have family and friends that have some grounding sheets or grounding mats.
They have grounding sheets. And so
maybe we should tell everybody why we chose grounding mat over grounding sheets.
Okay, sure.
Before you share their experience.
I chose, for me, like, I've always known about it, and like I had already knew that our friends and family had bought sheets, and I had asked them, but at that time when they first bought them, they didn't like have experience yet really fully to tell me, how has it been going. But after we had this discussion, I remember thinking, well, I'd rather have the mat. And the reason why I chose the mat is because, for one, I'm not trying to call out my husband, but but my husband runs really, really like hot at night, and he sweats a lot. And so with those grounding sheets, you do have to wash them, often. And I really didn't want to have, not that you can't. Oh, by the way, and like with the mat, yes, you can wash it. It is washable, but not like obviously in the washing machine and all that. And you have to have it air dried. But it's an easier way to clean, for sure. Like where you don't have to do it as often. But with the sheets, you do, and they are machine washable, all the things. But I just felt like I would be doing them a lot more because of my husband, and I would have to buy a couple
like extra sheets.
Yes, exactly. Where I felt the mat was at least just the mat. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I have a lot to say. So anyway, so with the mat, I decided to go with that because this way I knew that we were still going to get the benefits out of it, and not have to worry about always having to buy extras for him and me. And it just seemed more sense for me. So that's the reason why I bought the mat. But,
for sure.
Getting back to the sheets, I know lots of people who have bought in the sheets, and like I said earlier, I have some friends and I have some family members that do have them, and each of them have said, so with the family member, they both have like beds that are like, they're together, but they're separate because like they can,
they can like maneuver,
control them. Yeah. Like to be up or down or what have you. So they're together, but they're separate. And so the one family member has the grounding sheets on his side of the bed. And he has already told me, like, he's had them for a couple months now, and he says that he does feel that it has worked for him. He does fall asleep right away. Now,
nice.
He doesn't know if it's like doing anything other things, but I think from what he says about it, I do feel like, yes, it has probably helped him in a lot of other ways as well, like feeling a little bit more calmer, more rested, that type of thing. I have noticed. Now, when it comes
to say too, sorry, side note is that I also think, like anything, the more awareness that you have, how sensitive you are, and you're more aware of like all the things that you have going on, then I think that you'll, like for myself, I know when I come around EMF, like it's just like, and intense. And if I get away from it, I can feel it. So, I mean, for me, I'm more in tune and sensitive to all these other factors that I think that I probably would notice, possibly what I'm experiencing in different areas where some might not, and just notice that priority is I'm not sleeping. And so, using them and then going, oh my gosh, I'm sleeping well. And that's maybe all that matters to them, is they just want it to help them to sleep. Right.
And that's exactly why he got them. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And so if your goal is like, well, I don't sleep, I also have lots of pain, then maybe you're going to experience and notice a difference within those two areas. So I think just whatever it is
and
that
that's
you're
why,
aware of.
Yeah. And that's why I said, even in the beginning, is that it is on the individual. It depends on whatever you're looking for out of these mats or sheets. Right. And so, and that's that family member, that is part of the reason why he chose it, or I should say the wife, of course, chose it because went for the sheets because to help for sleep, because he doesn't sleep long and doesn't stay in bed and what have you. Now with our friends, they have the grounding sheets too. And they weren't, how do I say this? I think, they got them at the same kind of time as our family members. So a couple months. And they have said that in the beginning, they weren't sure if they noticed anything. But then as time went on, they did notice that their inflammation in their bodies had calmed down.
Nice.
Because, because they went to another family members to stay for a couple nights. And while they were at their family members, of course, there's, they don't have the grounding sheets there or anything. And they had said that they had the worst couple nights sleep because their pain was back, and that they had noticed a difference. And so they're now like, we'll always have these grounding sheets.
They're sold.
Yeah, they're sold.
So do you know, with your friends who have the inflammation, that they experience less inflammation day to day, or just while they're sleeping? While they're just on the mat or their sheets. Do you know?
I don't know that answer. I didn't get a chance to talk to them about it, but I hope to in the next couple of days. I'm just gonna reach out and just find out how they how they've discovered that. But I just know that they had noticed for sure a difference from not sleeping on it to
for sure
to sleeping on it, right? So which gave me
wondering sorry, I'm just wondering if it helps in just the nighttime, but the more you use it, just like the EE system, right? The more you're doing it, the more benefits you're going to see. And then I'm just wondering if it helps with that, or some of those things are going to come back as we continue to be in different environments and kind of get back into the old environments that we were possibly in that started all of this. But that would be cool to find out.
Yes, but I can answer that actually, because even in our booklet that we get from the place that we ordered them, they do say that consistency is key to help with that. So the more you're on it, the more you're going to notice. And there are some reviews in there as well of other people's experiences when it comes to that. So I would have to say, over time, yes, you're probably going to notice,
awesome.
Yeah. So I would say
Cool.
yes to that, because even with I said before, it really depends on the individual as well, and how much they have for health issues, really.
Yeah.
And what they're looking for.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's super exciting.
Yeah. So it is interesting.
excited.
And like when we ordered these mats, they do give you what they call it's a starter kit. And so they do give you the cord, of course, that plugs into the grounding, like in your outlet, and it is 15 feet long. So you're able to like find a port in your bedroom,
in your room,
so that you can, put it in. Also, they give you a tester. So they will give you a tester to check your outlets to make sure that they are grounded outlets, so that you can put it in, right? And use it. So yeah.
Another question.
Yeah.
Do you keep it plugged in all day, or you just plug it in when you're going to sleep?
Yeah, we keep it plugged in all day. Like it's plugged in the whole time. Yeah. They do say, they do recommend that if there is an electrical storm, to unplug it, just so it doesn't interfere with that port going into the fibers, into the blanket or the mat. But it didn't say, I don't think it did. Maybe I better check, but I'm pretty sure it said you can keep it plugged in, or you can unplug it and plug it in if you wanted to. I think it just on your preference. For me, we just leave it plugged in the whole time. Yeah,
for sure.
So
and I remember you showing me the when you received it, the size of it. Because Shelly and I both have king beds, so it's big, but it's thin. But just how it was all folded up, so it can be small. So just thinking about like, as you were talking about your friends when they traveled, and then they were like, oh man, I think that I probably also would maybe just fold up my mat and just bring it with me if I were staying in a hotel or going anywhere, because I don't sleep in those places anyway.
Me neither.
So, the fact that it does, even as a king, fold that small.
That's true.
Honestly.
And
like
actually,
a little pouch, honestly.
They're very light too. Like the mat that we have, they're super lightweight. Like, you totally could. Well, I don't know if I've mentioned this or not, but like I literally pack like my blanket and everything else with me when I go on vacation.
Everything. Her 60-pound pillow, and she's got her robes, like 2 robes and slippers and blankets. I don't know if you have enough room to pack that, but you might be like, okay, well, this is priority. So maybe you might not bring one other thing in place of that, but super light, compact.
Super light. Yeah.
So you could definitely just, I think, bring it with you. Like if I come to your place, I probably will just bring it to throw it on your bed, that I stay on.
Right.
Just so that, I have good sleep too. So
I never even thought of that. That's a great idea. Yeah. Like I didn't think of that. I was thinking of like maybe just buying sheets and then taking them with me and just kind of
I would just take the mat.
But that's a great idea.
Then you don't have to wash them again, right? You just slap it on the bed, and no matter where you're staying, and just kind of as you're traveling. I mean, even when you guys do your traveling, I would say bring it with you.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
Because how are you going to go that whole time without having, you'll probably be like,
I can't.
Without it. Exactly. So I could imagine.
And like, I also
anyway, that's just something I thought of that.
And I was just going to say, you made me think of something else too with the mat. So like there are like the company, I guess we should mention the company's name. We aren't quite sure the pronunciation on it, but it's either Gruning or what did we say? Gruning or
Groony or
Groony. Yeah, we're not sure, but it's Grooni. And so this company had lots of good reviews, and we thought, well, we're going to just go with that. So, so far they've been great, because even I have had many questions, and I was able to just message them, and they instantly gave me every answer like right away. And they've been fantastic. So the other part I want to mention too with this company is they have variety of things for earthing and grounding. So whether they're the sheets, the mat, so there's plush ones, there's you can even get like a mat for like if you're at your laptop all the time. So there's like a mat in front of that, or you can have it for your chair.
A lap pad kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they even have shoes, grounding shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's tons of
those
things.
too.
Yeah. And so
which would be so good for people who are working like standing all the time.
Right.
Like for your varicose veins. I can't say the word. Yeah. I'm like, can't do it today. I tried. Anyway, those things, because we do get those from standing too long, and they apparently do help with that. And just like, I think, being more present in your body, all kinds of things. I think that would be awesome for some people who stand all the time. Actually, just made me think of a client who does work in a factory that stands all the time and is so exhausted and has pain in the body. And so I will mention that and send them a message and let them know, hey, check this out.
There's a lot of products that they have in there. Like I would recommend checking them out. I might even be able to add the link to our show notes in our podcast notes. So if you're interested, it will be in there. And there are different kinds of things, like, even though Bev and I, it's like Bev even said that we have king size beds, and we bought the whole bit, like the full mat. So there are single mats, and they come from double all the way to even a California king. So there are different sizing for all types of mats. So if you're looking or you're interested in one, there are those. And I think the sheets too, you'd have to look at those, because I can't say anything about the sheets just because we didn't, purchase the sheets, but I would imagine that there would be. So.
Yeah. And also this company too, that we noticed that they have some deals on.
Yeah.
And they also give you even better deals if you buy more quantities.
Yes.
So if you're buying one as a gift or for somebody else, or, if you've got a couple like family members and you want them for their beds, then you get an even better deal.
That's right.
If you're buying other ones. So it's great so far. We have nothing, negative experience wise yet. So
no,
and I can't wait for mine to come. But it's going to be wonderful. I'm super excited.
Yeah. So like I said,
cool.
It's
awesome.
It just my journey on the grounding mat just started. Like I said, it was just been under a week, but so far I've been noticing a few things here and there. So I'm excited to see as time progresses, to see how it's going to be for me, because I do need that. I do need that grounding.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm super excited to see how it is for me, because I do have a lot of earth. So it'll be interesting to see how it is for me. But definitely, I think maybe in the new year, in our new season, we'll just maybe bring it up and mention, kind of check in as to where we are in our journey with our grounding mats, and share that insights with you.
And all. To be honest, maybe that's why my husband, like Dwayne, doesn't feel anything, because he's very earth. And so maybe that's why he doesn't
he's probably
notice
just like,
anything. I don't know, but because I have asked him. But
so
that's right.
Maybe we'll check in and see how his pain is in a little while too. So
that's right. I never thought of that, but I'll have to see, or maybe we'll just have to watch, because sometimes my Dwayne is
totally. Sometimes he's a non-believer.
So
we'll just give that one some time. But also, yes, he is earth like me. We are very similar in that way. So it'll be interesting to see how
it will be interesting to see how you go, like how you react, on it as well. Right. So it'd be cool.
Yeah. And my husband's air. So, just like you, like we're both the same. So it's like air, and earth. So we'll see how it goes. I'm really excited.
But I find Chris is very, he's very
grounded.
He is grounded though, because he has earth in his chart though. He's pretty he's pretty good. He's
very grounded. But
well,
I think it's just because he's Gemini, so he's very of the mind. So I don't know
I know, but even if you think about it, when I've even done Reiki or we've done work on him, he instantly is like, boom.
Oh, he's gone. He's so deep.
Yeah. So I feel like he's pretty grounded.
Yeah, pretty grounded. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because
It will.
I would have to say he has more disturbed sleep. He's a very light sleeper.
Yeah.
It's very often that he will have experienced like a deep sleep. Everything just kind of seems to startle him, or he has shorter amounts of sleep because I think it also like in his mind. I feel like he kind of just, as soon as he hears something, then he's in his head, he's just thinking, he just like, I got to get up, I'll just start my day kind of a thing. So
right. Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how that, if that changes for him, whether he starts to have deeper sleeps and isn't such a light sleeper and might, feel better that way.
Exactly. But, yeah.
Yeah. And we're also getting older. So
yes.
Be nice on the body that way too. So
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
So
that
cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell. A little bit of information like on the earthing and grounding, and then the mat, and on my experience, and I can't wait to see your experience as well, and then see how we are progressing with them and how it goes in the future. So it was great.
And if any of our listeners already have grounding or like sheets, mats, anything like that, and you want to share your experience, just comment or let us know, and we can also share that information too and pass it along for others. Because of course, Shelly and I do love to share things, that can help you with, mind, body, spirit, well-being, all that kind of stuff. So, hey, this is how we get the word out and help each other. So,
exactly.
We'd love to hear from you.
We would love to hear experiences for sure. 100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for sharing with us, Shelly, today. It's awesome.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for asking me questions. But
of course.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Empath Sisters today. And we really hope that you guys all have a wonderful day. And we're sending you love, light, and gratitude wherever this may find you guys. Take care.
Yeah, take care, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye.